Hey friends. Um, I recently read a post from a friend of mine who I don't think really follows me on social media. Um, she said that no one ever talks about the pain of waking up. Um, or I think she used enlightenment maybe, but the awakening process, the enlightening process, the process of seeing ourselves for who we are, for seeing the world for what it is, for seeing our parents and the structures, the systems for what they are in the world, can be extremely painful. Um, you can feel crazy because the world no longer makes sense, like nothing makes sense, because you see things for what they are, and what we're living is this life that's really based upon unfulfillment. That's the system that we live in, is a system based upon unfulfillment, based upon fear, based upon power struggles and power systems. And one of the reasons that that is able to happen is because we are asleep, we're not awake, we are in the dark, we're not in light, and we're not in the light, so to speak. We have a veil covering what's true from what's untrue, not just between this world and the spiritual world, or the 3D world and the 5D, or the 12D world, or whatever, but from who we are even as humans, and what our role has become based upon the societies that we have built. The societies that we have built in our nation, in all the Western quote unquote white nations that I see, and I have to say in many of the Asian nations, and like Southeast Asia, Southwest Asia, both. There's an attack on community living, communal living. There's an attack on tribal living. And if you look at tribal living, a lot of it is based on art and dancing and social dynamics, farming, and relationship. And people relate to each other through beautiful, beautiful art forms, really, and sport sometimes. And they don't toil all the time. They're not constantly working for something that will supposedly make them happy. They did a research one time about, does money actually make you happy? And here's what they found, is that a certain level of income makes people happy. And yet that certain level of income is not based upon one static number in one nation, or even one city or state or anything like that. It's based upon basically the people that you live around, the people that you work with. It was a very minuscule amount, but as long as you made something like 11, 14, 15% more than the people that you were around, it made people feel better. I wouldn't say happy, because that's, now we're basing this off of some external circumstance, but It was based on having more than someone else. And that competition, that desire for more, is part of the pain of our society. I've noticed it's hard for many people to be happy for other people's success. um, it's hard for some people not to wish that they had more. Many of us, it's hard for. The desire for more is not the desire for more material, usually, in my opinion. It's the desire for a richer, more fulfilling life. And it's the desire to fill some hole that we have inside of ourselves. It's very natural to want more. We really should want everything, the knowledge of the universe, the experience of the universe, every emotion, and be able to embrace every emotion. I think that's happening. I think that's happening as a society, as a world, is that we are becoming more emotional, that the younger generation, the emotional intelligence that they have, they're born with more emotional intelligence than their parents have. Thank you for coming into the world, young people. We've been needing you. It sucks that it's such a mess, but we'll figure this out. Someone asked me recently what I see in people as I travel. Do I see a lot of fear? I see a good amount of people feeling empowered, or at least upset enough to have passion about something. I see a lot of people in big cities that are afraid of other people. I see a lot of people in big cities that are afraid of the people, afraid of people, and afraid of the government. I hear people that value freedom over security, fearing their freedom. I hear people that value security over freedom, fearful of other people's freedom and right and ability to choose. Why as a society are the same people that are fighting for the right to abortion fighting, I shouldn't say all, I'm not going to loop all people in because that's simply not true, but many people, and if you look at it politically and the way that the news is dividing it, the same people fighting for the right to choose abortion are the same people saying that you don't have the right to choose whether you can vaccinate or not. And why are the people on the side of choosing no right to abortion on the side of choosing the right to vaccinate? And I'm sure somebody has some twisted argument for both of them, but my point is that the two sides, quote unquote, that we have to choose from, the two major schools of thought which have been politicized, don't really make sense for even the parties that they're associated with. And the truth is that there's a lot of ideas out there, way more than just like one or two or three or four ideas. We have billions of people in this world. I'm sure there are billions of opinions. And that should be embraced by all, in my opinion. And if you don't think so, that's your problem. You'll figure it out. And if you don't, I don't care. And hopefully you have opinions that you feel the same way about, because you should. And I think personally that I could put anything in my body and burn it out, even the vaccine, even if that vaccine is meant to harm me. Truth. I believe that. I believed that before I was a yogi trained spiritualist. And I've lived that proof of concept. I haven't tested it, but it's been tested. There's a difference. I don't put myself through things I don't have to, but I don't fear things that are forced upon me either. So, whatever your stance is, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. But I do feel that you should be strong in your opinion. You should stand by it. You should stand strong in whatever it is. Because that matters, for sure. We don't have to resist. We can stand in our own space. And if somebody thinks that's resisting, they're wrong. No one really has the right to tell us what to do. And that's true. There are certain laws in this universe. There are certain laws in every country. There's certain laws in every park you go to. And if we don't follow those laws, there are consequences. And yet we always have a choice. And if we're able to act with courage, able to act despite fear, able to lean into fear even, or see where fear comes from, if we're able to act from the truest sense of ourselves, from those internal guidance systems that we're becoming more and more aware of as time goes on, that's a damn good start. And recently, I realized I'm still very much in the upper chakras. And I'm really, really learning to dive deeply into the lower chakras. Because I saw that there is a flaw in the Buddhist/Hindi way. Woo! Almost lost you there. I went cross-eyed a little bit. And that is that anytime you begin to talk about the pain of the past, a Buddhist or a Hindu is going to point you to the right here and now and say that's really just a memory, and that's really just almost a lie, right? Or an illusion, is what they'll say. That memory is an illusion, and you can create anything you want in that illusion. And here's the thing. They're not wrong. They're absolutely right. So many of those gentlemen, or people, humans in general, live in these upper chakras, even beyond and into the crown chakra, and very rarely come back down. But then you see that one of these gurus has raped women or little girls, or stolen money, or taken advantage of people, and you realize that they haven't done the inner chakra work, the lower chakra work, to get rid of the pain. And so when they are brought back down into reality, back down into their bodies, they're not able to function like humans. To my point, most of these gurus have a team around them to take care of them, constantly caring for them, feeding them, bathing them, helping them get to sleep, paying their taxes, handling their money. Someone is doing something for them at all times, because they're not able to live in those lower chakras where all of that business is taken care of. They're up here. And so there's a flaw in that. And that's where Western psychology is meeting Eastern spirituality. There's even a book basically with that name. And some beautiful healing, a beautiful new movement of spirituality and healing is taking place in this world because of it. It's largely led by the women in the West, from what I can see. It's very beautiful. Thank you. I love you, friends. Much love.